Ladies and gentlemen, hello, this is Debo over at Land Say Go, and I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Before we get started with the deck list here, if you wouldn't mind giving us a like, a share, a subscribe, and then at the end of the video, if you like what you see, give us a comment as well. It really helps us out a lot, and it allows us to know what kind of content to bring you guys, so that way we can, get you what you want. Well, today we have a best of one list for you. It's Boros Aggro. This is post banning. So this is after Agent of Treachery is gone and Fires of Invention is gone. Standard is kind of slowed down just a little bit. People are trying to force out more control lists, kind of control the board a little bit more. And this gives you an opportunity to have a really powerful, on the ground, fast aggro list. And this one's kind of more of a little bit more mid-range. It's because it's very 3-drop heavy. It's got quite a few 4-drops as well. But I've noticed that when I was playing it, even when I forgot to put in the good lands, it was winning. It was winning games. I think I won 4, maybe 5 games in a row with it. It's a very powerful deck. So let's go ahead and break it down and see what it is that is about this deck that is just pushing it above everything else. So first off, we have 3 Alseids of Life's Bounty. Now this card is really good. Everyone knows how good it is. It's 1 mana. It's a life linker. It's 1/1 for 1. You can pay 1 mana into it, sacrifice it, and the target creature or enchantment you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Now we're not really running any enchantments in here, but we are running a lot of creatures, and this could be a good way for you to be able to keep a creature around and be able to basically force through damage or save something from a board wipe or something like that. We also are running 4 Fervent Champions. Now, again, very powerful card. 1 red mana. It's a 1/1 first strike, haste, and then whenever it attacks, another target attacking knights you control gains +1/+0 until end of turn. Now, we don't really have any other attacking knights, I believe, except for Fervent Champion. We'll just double check that as we go through it, but I'm pretty sure Fervent Champion is the only one. But being able to get like Fervent Champion and a Fervent Champion and a Fervent Champion does happen in Arena, and it could be really, really good for you. Now, next up, we have 4 God's Willing. Now, I decided to go with God's Willing. You could also go with Fight as 1, which can give you 2 creatures with Indestructible. Either one can be good. I chose God's Willing to be able to force through damage as needed, because we're trying to hit our opponent as fast as we can, and being able to force through that last little bit of damage is really, really powerful. But if you're finding that the meta is shifting more towards a lot of board wipes and things like that, you may want to consider bringing in, instead of God's Willing, Fight as 1, because we do have humans and we do have non-humans, and being able to give both of them indestructible will be really good. We are running 2 shocks. So these 2 shocks, again, just trying to force through damage. We're trying to get rid of our opponent's creatures, or late game, it can be used as a way to put in those final points of damage to win the game. Speaking of final points of damage, we are also running 2 Bonecrusher Giants. These Bonecrusher Giants are a way for us to, again, deal 2 damage and prevents fogging, which is kind of funny. Even though people aren't really running fogs, there are still fogs in the format. Plus, it gives us a 4/3 body to boot. And then if something ever targets the Bonecrusher Giant, they will lose 2 life as well, because it deals 2 damage to that spell's control. We are running 3 Tithe Taker. Now, this card is really good right now. When people are trying to run flash, when people are trying to run your counterspell control and things like that, this is going to be a very good spell for you. So Tithe Taker is 1 and a white. It's a 2/1. It has Afterlife 1. So if someone board wipes, you still get some creatures out of it, which is pretty great. And it says, during your turn, spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast, and abilities your opponents activate cost 1 more to activate unless they're mana abilities. So if your opponent has counterspell mana up, well, if Tithe Taker is on the field, it's going to cost 4. If you have 2 Tithe Takers on the field, it's going to cost 5 mana, assuming it's a 3 mana counterspell. This card is very, very good. It's just a great way to also stop like Teferi trying to flash out a board wipe or something like that, because you're forcing your control opponent to play off curve. Very powerful. You're also running for Lavabrink Venturer. Now, Lavabrink Venturer is a very powerful card. It's kind of standard's true name nemesis, right? So you can choose either protection from evens or protection from odds. It's 3 mana for a 3/3, and it has protection of whichever one you choose. So if your opponent's playing a lot of even creatures, you could play it on protection from even. If they have a lot of odd removal, play it on protection of odds, and you're good to go. Just note that this does potentially stop you from interacting with it depending on what you choose, but it's just a great hoser against what your opponent's trying to do. We're also running a single copy of if I can speak it, Taranika Akroan Veteran, 1 white. It's a 3/3. Now we could bump this up to 2 of these. This is actually a very powerful card. It's got vigilance, and then whenever it attacks, untap another target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature has base power and toughness 4/4 and gains indestructible. Well, what card would we want to necessarily run with that? It is Legion Warboss, right? So Legion Warboss creates a 1/1, which, by the way, you can untap that, make it a 4/4, and just leave Legion Warboss back. Or if you're able to attack with the Legion Warboss as well, you can make that a 4/4 and make the Mentor trigger on it even better. So that is a very good use of that attack trigger. Now, what is a card that we may not necessarily want to be running in order to run 2 of these? Well, we are running in this particular list a single copy of Winota. It is still a powerful card. We do have humans and non-humans alike, so we can get some cool triggers off it. But if you wanted to, you could take out Winota. You could run 2 Taranika Akroan veterans, and that would work too. But currently in this list, we are running a single Winota. We do also have 3 Tajic Legion's Edge. 1 red and white for a 3/2 with haste and mentor, and then it has prevents all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. And you can also pay red and white to give them first strike until end of turn. Now this is great because your opponents are going to be playing Deafening Clarion, they're going to be playing other board wipes that have to do with damage, and if they're not playing board wipes, they may be playing single target removal spells like shocks or your dragon fires, things like that, and this prevents that damage. And what's great is with your Alseids and your God's Willing, you can also give Tajic protection from those as well, meaning that if they try to Deafening Clarion away your Tajic, you get to keep your whole board. We're also running 3 Aurelia Exemplar of Justice. Now, Aurelia Exemplar of Justice, 4 mana, 2/5, flying mentor, a lot of mentor in this deck. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature gets +2/+0 and gains trample if it's red, and gains vigilance if it's white. Now, we do have a lot of white, we do have a lot of red, we have a few creatures that are red and white, so we can make use of this ability for sure. So imagine giving Tajic +2/+0 trample. You can pay mana to give him first strike, and he has vigilance swinging out. I mean, that mentor trigger is going to be amazing, right? Now, we already talked about Winota. Let's go ahead and get to the last card here. Haktos the Unscarred. Red, white, 6/1. It attacks each combat if able. And when it enters the battlefield, you choose 2, 3, or 4 at random. And Haktos has protection from each converted mana cost other than the chosen number. So that means none of this is going to affect Haktos. But Aurelia may be able to affect Haktos. You may be able to give him vigilance. You may be able to give him trample. And so and a +2/+0 to boot. So all of that is pretty hilarious. And then as far as the lands are concerned, we're trying to go pretty hardcore aggro. So trying to take out as much of the tap land as possible. We're running 7 plains, 7 mountains, 4 Sacred Foundries, 2 Temple of Triumphs, and 4 Fabled Passages. And guys, that's the deck. That is Boros Aggro in post-ban standard. And this is just before core set. Core set spoilers are ramping up right now. And right now this deck is looking really good. And it may even be fairly resilient into the next set as well, depending on what gets spoiled in core set 2021. So guys, hopefully you guys enjoy this list. Feel free to give us a comment, give us a like, give us a share, and let us know what you think. Let us know if you'll try it out. And if you do try it out, let us know how you do. Again, guys, I'm Debo over at landsego.com. Thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you again real soon. Hey guys, thanks for watching our content. If you liked our video, you'll probably like these as well. And if you would, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And in the description below, you'll find our TCG affiliate link, where you can buy the cards that you need while also supporting us, Landsego, and our show.